Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Brandon.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about games and things.
Some things that are games.
Yeah, lots of games today. All the games, really. Last week we were talking about Nintendo Direct. We had a surprisingly accurate predictions.
Yeah,
I would say overall, because we did get to talk about a lot of things that were there. So we got that. I know Brandon's got Final Fantasy XVI to talk about, even though he didn't update his list. I left it there for him because I knew he had to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a game from the Nintendo Direct to talk about, and I guess we'll talk about that when we're talking about the Nintendo Direct. So,
okay,
you ready to get into it?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess since mine's Direct-centric, you get to go first. So, tell us about Final Fantasy XVI. As you described it last week, Game of the Year. Maybe
I did.
all time.
No, I didn't say all time. I did not say all time. That was nowhere in there.
I think you said this is the Michelangelo.
I think you just need to shut
games. Up. Well, tell us all about it.
Okay. So, the last time I talked to you, I played the first 2 hours of the game or so.
Yeah.
Because the demo is that, which is like the little intro and everything. And after that, it ends on a very major cliffhanger essentially in the demo.
Yeah,
where it's kind of like what did this thing happen? I'm not gonna spoil any of it, but so I was watching a video, right? I was watching a YouTube video, and I promise there's a point to this, right? And they talked about how explosions are cool. But you wouldn't want to watch an entire movie based around nothing but explosions.
Michael Bay. Wow.
Essentially, yes. Yeah. That's kind of how a lot of this game feels, and that's kind of an issue. You have one explosive, crazy boss battle that's incredible, just jaw-droppingly incredible. It is amazing. If we were still doing best moments, I would definitely recommend several of these boss battles for best moment of the year. Mm-hmm. But then you're just very subdued, walking from one place to another, not really doing anything except walking, and then cutscene, and then walking, and then cutscene, and then walking, and then cutscene. Maybe fight a few trash mobs that take 30 seconds to kill, and then cutscene, and then traveling, and then cutscene, and then talking to people, and then cutscene, and then cutscene, and then cutscene. I think you're starting to understand.
Yeah, I'm already bored. This game sounds boring.
So this game is about 50 hours long, right? That's how long this game is.
Uh-huh.
If you search for this game and all of its cutscenes, pretend I haven't already given you the answer to this. Or if you don't remember, then still guess, okay? How long is the video on YouTube for this game and all of its cutscenes? You're very close. It's 22 hours long for a video that includes every cutscene of Final Fantasy XVI.
That's wild. It's half the game.
It is almost half the game is nothing but cutscenes. It is awesome when you do get to play. The combat is very good. The characters are pretty interesting. It's gotten a bit convoluted. Gotten a bit very convoluted. Mm-hmm. And the world is interesting as well. But it also has this other issue, right? You watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
All right.
Or watch.
This game is basically following the whole Game of Thrones thing, where it's consistently very dark and gritty, with awful shit happening at every moment in time. The characters dropping F-bombs left and right, calling people bellends or shit like that, calling them pieces of shit and telling them to die and they'll fucking kill them and all this other stuff. And it's very dark.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the first, I'm going to say 4 hours, this is okay, this is really interesting, seeing this dark and gritty version of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But I would say at hour 5 even, it had already gotten comically over the top with just how evil and dark everything is. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a very minor example from a cutscene. So this is a very, very minor spoiler. This one woman enters a bar, and she's talking with this lady who is housing you at the moment in time. Mm-hmm. And you hear her lady then speak with these people that are drinking to the side of the bar, and the people that are drinking to the side of the bar are like, what happened to your child and everything. And she's like, when do you fucking believe it? Waited 9 months and it was a fucking bearer. Had to give it up. Had to give it to the king so that they could humanely slaughter it. Mm-hmm. So the plotline just went to the point where she just gave birth to a child, and she gave it to the king to kill because it wore the mark of a crystal bearer, basically. So in this world, if someone comes out with the mark of a crystal bearer at birth as a baby, they will just straight up kill it.
Okay.
And it's like, okay. At that point, it's like, okay, all right. You've already seen enough dark shit by that point that it's like almost comical how over the top and like just gritty it is trying to be. It's kind of done so much and said so much dark shit about the world, like, ooh, this world is so bad, ooh, these people are so bad, that at this point in time I feel like I could guess what the next awful thing is that's going to happen, and I would be correct. Mm-hmm. Because like I just have to think of the most over the top dumb shit I can think of for like how stupid it would be. Like literally I was watching a cutscene, right? And like the person was given a gift essentially from one of the main characters. Mm-hmm. And my response in the cutscene before like they open that gift, my thoughts in my head is that's the decapitated head of their lover. That was my thoughts because of how dark this game has been. And I was right.
Are you sure that they just didn't have like ChatGPT write this story? Like ChatGPT, write me a Final Fantasy story crossed with Game of Thrones. Make it as wild and crazy as you can. Because that sounds like what you're describing so far, really.
Oh, dude, you think that's bad? I want to, like, give, like, a major spoiler, because, like, legitimately, I said at the beginning of the game, oh, this happened.
Oh my god.
16 hours in, we get to that point.
And you said this was going to be a good story. I told you. I warned you last week.
You're
that
so
it's
right.
Final Fantasy. It can go off the rails. And they're like, oh no, it's Final Fantasy XIV guy. He can do no wrong. Well, he do wrong.
He did do wrong. You are 100% correct. I don't know how they specifically designed the demo to be so good, so incredible. But then immediately after that, you learn about side quest, and your first side quest is to feed the people that are in the like new hub area that you're in. So you're probably thinking, well, you have to go out and you have to go get like food and do this, that, and the other. No, you literally just walk up to the people that's upstairs, and you after collecting the food from a guy downstairs, and you just go, here you go, and they're like, thank you for the food, sir. And then it's like, yeah, you're welcome. Side quest complete.
Okay.
And then there was another one that was like, go get me dirt.
Yeah. You know, you need dirt for things.
I got dirt. I got soil. I got that soil. It was good. I went to a place, which, by the way, this game's not open world. It's it's like instance based essentially, which is weird because it almost feels like you're playing an MMO when playing this, which is not good. Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine just based on the amount of cutscenes, I figured it would be, kind of linear-ish.
It is nothing but linear.
Yeah.
I have literally gone off the beaten path on purpose, and it just leads to a dead end and like wraps me back around to the main path. It is pretty much a straight line every single time I have played for the last 20 hours.
Very fun.
Yeah, I don't recommend this game at full price. I would like to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is entirely possible that this game's last half is fucking incredible, mind-blowing, and absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There have been lots of elements of this, such as like seeing an entire war being like played out by like the icons, such as like, you know, Shiva and Titan and Ifrit, and all of those having like a gigantic monster battle with all the troops of different kings and stuff fighting alongside down below. That stuff is super cool. We could definitely have a moment like the fucking battle from Lord of the Rings happen, and that would be absolutely incredible. Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get that though, or if we're gonna get that in a cutscene instead. The combat in this game, and this is the worst part. The combat in this game is easily the best combat I have had in a game, probably since Devil May Cry, like the last Devil May Cry, essentially. The combat is so smooth, it is so fluid, it is so good, it is so well done, and I don't understand why the game doesn't want me to do it more often.
Because they really want you to enjoy the story. That's why. The story is the focus, obviously.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you on that one. Clearly,
so I'm currently sitting right now. My rating for this game for the first 16 to 20 hours of 50 is like a 6, because the boss battles are absolutely incredible, and every single time I can like, you know, do the combat, it's incredible combat. It's great combat. There's like, I cannot stress enough just how good it is. But the game far too often is like, you can't save here, you have to continue. You actually need to go down this way. No, you can't fast travel anywhere else. You can't do this. You have to go this way. Uh-oh, you tried to go off the beaten path? I'm looping back around. You have to go this way. Oh, you wanted to explore the town? I'm sorry, there's a bridge that's out. You gotta wait. You gotta go talk to several people and have like 3 to 15 cutscenes that are like 20 minutes apiece.
All right. Frustrating.
It's very, very frustrating. And it's terrible because it has like that incredible combat and it dangles it right there in front of your face, but then it like literally just railroads you into following this path instead.
I mean, maybe it's like one of those Final Fantasy games where, you know, you get the second half, it opens up, and then it's just kind of a big open world game.
And that's what I'm hoping, because I know that there is a second half, because I know there's a point where it tells you you can no longer do any more missions beyond this point in your current location. If you need to, go do those quests now, because you'll never be able to do them again. I know that's a thing that happens at one point, and it even tells you this is the point of no return. And then you have like 30 hours left of the game. So, I'm hoping that back half is what is so incredible.
Yeah.
But we are not there yet.
We will find out soon enough.
Maybe I'll update you next week and it will be much better, but I will tell you, the first like 15 hours of this game is a slog.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That does not sound fun. It kind of sounds like the things I hate about Metal Gear. Because, you know, like some of them just kind of get way too handholdy with those cutscenes for a while. And it's like, just shut up, let me play the game. That's what I want to do. So, yeah. Maybe, hopefully, maybe a bit better.
I really don't know. I like the characters. I like the world, even though it is comically evil at times. But I really do like all these characters. The version of Sid that is in this game is fantastic, and he's a main character. He's so good. And
that's good.
And I love it. I love the idea of what's going on, and I love that literally 20 hours into this game, I still don't know who the villain is. And that's really interesting to me.
It's probably you, and it's going to turn into like a Daenerys.
That was my guess. That was literally my guess, and I still think it is what is going to happen. You're actually the overall villain of the game.
Yeah. They're like, we could do this ending better than Game of Thrones. And and then they'll try. We'll see what happens. Maybe they will.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where they invested all their storytelling expertise.
Well, they only watched the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
but even they knew it was bad.
But you can see that ending coming a mile away. They probably knew. They were like, oh, you know what I bet they're going to do? I bet Daenerys is going to take the throne, and then she's going to go mad like her dad. Which is, that's the one thing I always say about that, Game of Thrones. It was telegraphed for seasons upon seasons upon seasons upon seasons. If you didn't know that's where the ending was going, you're blind, because they did not beat around the bush with it. The problem is they just rushed that last season, and are just like, all of a sudden, she just kind of flips the switch, and like one random episode is just like the end.
Crazy person. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it had like an extra season or 2, they could have like actually made that really good.
Well, it just kills me because like HBO begged them to make more episodes that season for that final season. Because remember, it was only like 6 episodes long or something stupidly small, and they're like, no, we got this. We don't need a single extra episode. You do. What else do you got to say about Final Fantasy 16?
The fact that, like I said, I can't figure out who the villain is, but like we did, you just jokingly said, I do actually think that might be where we're going. It is compelling and me to continue playing the game to see what happens next, essentially. And every single time, there is something new, at least from the gameplay point of view, whenever I get to play the game, that is very compelling, that makes it worth playing. But those parts are few and far between, and that's really upsetting and frustrating.
Yeah.
That's it. I will update you as I get further towards the ending of the game, but like, I don't know, man. It's a mess.
All right. You been playing anything else this week?
No.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct then.
Okay.
And instead, I'll talk about the game that I'm playing as it comes up during the Direct. I honestly think this is one of the best Nintendo Directs they've had in a long time. I would
say it's probably like the best they've had in like 2 years, like easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was so pleasantly surprised with this. I don't even know how to say it. It was really good. So we'll just start kind of running down through it.
Yeah.
And it kind of started off slow. I was worried with this first bit because they launched right into the
Pokemon DLC.
Yeah, the Pokemon DLC, which I'm sure it will be fine, but we all know it's coming. It's not here yet. You really didn't tell us anything we didn't really know. You just kind of showed off some new little tidbits, and okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
There's
not really much to this. It just kind of showed us what the new area is again, but like a better version of it. Not just like concept art and like a quick 10-second little clip. They actually like went pretty hard into showing off everything, so that was kind of neat.
Yeah, well, they're like, here's some masks. Oh, okay, cool, whatever. They showed off some of the new Pokemon. That's cool. I'm gonna play this. Don't get me wrong, and I'm excited for it. But this was not a video that like sold me on this. I was never gonna buy it anyways, and it didn't really do anything to make me to move that needle one way or another. I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was kind of like, this isn't a great tone to set at the beginning of this video.
Yeah.
But, well, whatever. It had me worried at the beginning. Let's just say.
The second one probably didn't help either then.
Yeah, I was like, nope, we just saw Sonic Superstars.
Yes, we already
did. We already do. I fast forwarded right through that one. I'm like, good day, thank you.
I was watching live, so when I saw it, I was like, we're gonna rehash the stuff from Summer Games Fest and from Sega's thing. We're gonna,
They keep this trend going for a little bit. I don't know, Paleo, is that new? I feel like I'd seen it recently. I don't remember.
I don't know, but it's another farming game.
Yeah.
And we go back to that trend again of rehashing things we already knew about with the Persona 5 Tactica trailer.
Yeah.
Showing off more gameplay than what we saw before. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool.
Yep. Fast forwarded through that one too. I was like, just saw this trailer. Good day. We got Myth Force, which actually kind of looks cool. I don't know if it actually is cool. but it definitely like because they're going for that old kind of like 80s cartoon look, and they absolutely
80s cartoon with like a dungeon crawler. Essentially, it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cool looking game. So there was that. You know, kind of I don't know, keep it on my radar, I guess at least. Yep. Then they did announce another Splatfest. I was like, don't care. Yep. Fast forwarded right through that thing.
Yep, I went and got me something to eat during that time.
And plus, vanilla, strawberry, or mint chip. Couldn't even do chocolate. What is this garbage? Yeah, no. All right, then we got Detective Pikachu Returns, which was announced like 1.5 billion years ago, like before the movie.
It was.
And now they finally decided to show it off. So yeah, we got Detective Pikachu Returns. I don't feel like they really showed too much of this game, just a bunch of cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, the game does seem kind of like the game though, just in general.
Yeah, I mean the game was kind of very cutscene-y and kind of point-and-click adventure-y. Yeah, with some puzzles. So probably more of that. I'm kind of interested to see if they'll kind of address the original story. I think there was a rumor at one point that whatever became of this was going to include both games, like kind of like the original story and the new one, because it is going to be platform jumping, obviously. But
yes,
don't know.
Yeah, I didn't play the original, so like if this included anything from the original, I would have no idea what's going on.
Well, the good news is the movie follows that story pretty well. So it is definitely
the movie. The movie was great.
If you see the movie, you've already played or seen the first half of this game. And the movie ends exactly the way that I thought the game was going to end. So it does a really good job of telegraphing itself, and I kind of assume it's going to end the same way. So it was interesting. But then we got to the meat and potatoes. This is where things really started to rock and roll.
This is the one prediction that I literally said, no, this will never happen.
You said no. And I also, to my credit, I had said it not just last week, but previously. Like I had made this prediction, at least a year before this. Yeah. Like this is not. So I mean, like I was on the same wavelength when I said it before. This game was already probably in development. Yeah. So, Super Mario RPG from Super Nintendo.
I'm floored that this is actually real. I was incredibly surprised. Yeah. I feel like more so than even just this game existing, I want to know how this game exists. Because we've been told for years now that because of the whole merger between Square and Nintendo that originally made Mario RPG, and the fact that it was Squaresoft then, and then they became Square Enix, and it was kind of lost in limbo in between the changing of, companies and Nintendo also being in there, making it an impossible game to remaster or even re-release for the longest time. How the hell did this come about? That's what I want to know.
I'm also curious, even too, who's doing the remake? Is it Nintendo? Is it Square? Is it someone else? Don't know. There's a lot of unknown questions on the development of this game that I'm very curious about. One thing that did come out afterwards, which I think is great, and also I think highlights one of the things that I think is most exceptional in this trailer, is they got the original composer back to redo the music. So I think that's excellent. I think the music absolutely stood out in this trailer. I think I've watched it 10 times.
It's so good.
Just listen to the music. Yeah. And Mario RPG has a timeless soundtrack. So
it really does, yeah.
That's good. I think I remember you weren't a fan of the art style though, right?
So my issue I saw initially was I had it in a smaller window. So when it showed the art style of Peach, she just looked like she was a JPEG being stretched out. That's kind of the way it looked. I don't know if that makes any sense, but look at the opening where it shows Peach for the first time. It looks like someone took a JPEG and then just clicked stretch to fit, basically. And it's kind of like a mess, and that kind of carries over to Mario as well. But I mean, I guess it's fine. Yeah, it looks kind of weird, though. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe now that I mention it to you, you'll also kind of see it. But they kind of in cutscenes look very stretched.
So I think the issue is kind of I don't feel like there's stretched. The issue is kind of like, so they went with this weird, and I don't quite understand it.
Right, hold on. No, I'm gonna pause you there. Look at 27 seconds in that trailer, right? Look at Mario standing there when he comes out the door. Mario, when he comes out that door, it looks like Lung Boy Mario, like someone grabbed Mario and just grabbed him and stretched him like Laffy Taffy.
I does not look long to me at all. He looks short.
I don't mean long as in tall. I mean long as in like wide. It's like wide boy Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is though, because if you look there, his legs are kind of like stretched out, like he doesn't have his legs together. I think that's why. I think
when you see them like in the game world, it works, right? But when you see them in the cutscenes, I think it looks really weird.
Yeah, and I think part of it is too. So, and it's weird. I think the weird part of it is, so Bowser, Geno, and Mallow seem to look about the same.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, but for some reason, Mario and Peach have this kind of pseudo chibi style.
Exactly. Yes.
And I think they did it so that Mario's proportions were the same to like Geno's and Mallow's, but it kind of gives them this weirdish look.
Yeah, in cutscenes, but not in the game itself. Like in gameplay, it looks totally fine, but in like cutscenes, it looks fucking weird.
Yeah, it does. It's a weird proportion for him, I think, and I think that's a harder thing to wrap my head around. I think on it, and Peach kind of has that same thing too, where she almost kind of always looks like she's like sitting down.
Yes.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but I don't know. I'm super psyched.
I do think it looks excellent. Like gameplay wise, it looks excellent. I am very happy about it.
Yeah, the gameplay looks very similar to before, and it looks like they've added things too, because now there's some sort of like action meter on the side that definitely wasn't there in the Super Nintendo version.
The minecart ride clip is also really cool.
Yeah, I love the minecart stuff. The mini games they had in there I thought were always fantastic. You know, they had the river game, they had the minecart game, they showed the tadpole thing where you can do like the music and stuff. So I always thought that stuff's great. You know, obviously they brought back a lot of these, you know, I think the thing that I really like about Mario RPG is the inclusion of all these like new kind of villains that they had in there. Because I think that's something that Mario has really suffered from since then. You know, they rely so much on Bowser and the Koopa Troop that they really have not taken too many times to make these kind of new villains. So it's kind of nice to see, you know, Smithy and his crew, and you know, this more ruckus kind of Mushroom Kingdom, you know, portrayed. So I like that. I'm very excited about that. I'm really curious to see if there's going to be any more additions to it too. So, or if there's any kind of strange omissions. You know, because they obviously there's some weird ones like Culex. Will they keep Culex in? Nobody knows. That's a very Final Fantasy reference, even though it's not really a Final Fantasy thing. But it's just kind of one of those odd things. And there are definitely some opportunities for new areas and stuff in there. So I'm really excited to see how it goes down. This is one of my all-time favorite RPGs. I'm really excited to see that, you know, this was there. And I did see on YouTube, like they had like a video of someone did like kind of a segment where, you know, they're at the Nintendo World Store when this was announced, and you know, the crowd just goes absolutely ballistic, and it was kind of awesome to see. It's kind of nice to see all that excitement for it. So yeah, no, this is definitely I think it's easily my most anticipated game of the year, and also kind of goes with kind of what I also predicted.
It just shot up to mine, like it really did. But okay, so here's my only issue, right?
Yeah.
The games I was anticipating the most this year are still my most anticipated, even with this showing up, because having a rebirth of Jet Set Radio, even if it's not from the original developers, that's just right up my alley. And that is one of the things that's coming out in August. So that's still my most anticipated game, I believe, alongside the AEW game, which comes out in a few days, which I'll be able to talk about next week because I've already purchased it. So that's the other thing. I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah.
No, I think Nintendo definitely set up a good back half of their year so far. I think too, kind of one of my other predictions has come true with this, and you know, we'll see it more with like the rest of this. presentation, but I was kind of, if you remember, I was like, I bet Nintendo is going to use a lot of their remakes to kind of help prop up the end of this year.
Yeah.
Because, obviously it seemed like that was an opportunity that they've kind of realized in the Switch area that they can kind of hold those as, backlog fillers.
And, they did.
And they did. And it kind of seems like that's, what they're doing. But obviously they have some big ones that they're sitting on that they know are going to make momentum. And, this is definitely a big one. So, yeah. There's that. Mm-hmm. But then after that, they continued the Mario Brothers Love.
Yeah, they did.
They announced a new Princess Peach game.
They did.
Don't know much about it.
Nope, not anything aside from Princess Peach is getting her own game, and it comes out next year.
Yeah, and it's kind of has like, I don't know, some sort of theater kind of vibe to it.
Yeah,
I liked Super Princess Peach on the DS. Not getting that vibe from this game, so no clue what this game is going to be.
It's something.
The song Peaches randomly came on the way home today, and I was thinking to myself, I really hope that they just name this game Peaches.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, just Peaches. That's what they should call it. But yeah, looking forward to it. We'll know more about it soon. Presumably, I mean, Nintendo always does that kind of September direct as well. So presumably, this will probably be a first half of 2024 game. I assume that we'll find out more of it there. So there's that. And same thing with Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon Remaster. I'm excited that this exists.
Yeah, I'm glad this exists as well. Because, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but it's my least favorite Luigi's Mansion game. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that I think this is just going to be another step in the way of having every Luigi's Mansion on Switch. So we'll probably get next year Luigi's Mansion 1, and then we'll have all three of them. Yeah,
and I think too, well, I'll say it now, we're going to get to it when, kind of again when we get to Pikmin. But just kind of to have that conversation here, because it is kind of relevant. I think kind of this direct also cements kind of another question that people had, and the question was, how is Nintendo going to handle GameCube games? Are they going to do like a virtual console? And I think the answer is no. They're gonna HD these games and sell them for $30.
Yeah,
I think that's, which I don't think is necessarily totally unreasonable, but yeah, I think that's definitely seems to be more of the trend that they're going with. So, and if you think about it, they've already evacuated at this point a lot of the big hits off of the GameCube already. So it doesn't really. We've already gotten the Metroid Prime remaster. Now we've gotten the Pikmin games. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are so likely. I would be shocked if they don't show up at some point, if not this gen, next gen. Considering that the Switch successor is probably, I would guess, within the next year.
Yeah. And
if it's not, it's at least those are good placeholder games. You know that they're sitting on them. They're just waiting. Absolutely, 100%. Like those games are ready to go whenever they want. I have a theory on the next gen Switch too.
Okay,
this is kind of my feature theory. I think they're going to reverse Wii U it. I think that's what I'm kind of thinking.
How so? What?
So this is my thought, because they invested all that technology in the Wii U so that the Wii U could broadcast, simultaneously to the TV and to the Wii U gamepad. Well, I think my thought is, what they're going to do as a feature for whatever the successor for the Switch is they're going to make it so that the new Switch can broadcast to the dock, which can also simultaneously broadcast the TV.
Oh, okay.
So you can have, and this is my thinking for it. So for some of those kind of games, like one of the reasons they said Xenoblade X, for example, would be so hard to port over would be because of it had a lot of features on the touchscreen that they don't want to get rid of or whatever. The map stuff was down there. Not necessarily, I mean, it's definitely not a game breaker. They could find a way around it if they really wanted to. But just hypothetically, if you made it so that, you could still broadcast the TV with Switch, then you could just have it so it could do something like that. And then have like a separate handheld version or whatever. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's somewhat.
Yeah. Or if you wanted to do a game that did, say, like, Nintendo World, where it had that kind of like simultaneous like play or whatever. You just make it so it can, broadcast that, one image to the TV and have a different thing on the gamepad. Whether or not there's something they'll do, I don't know. But the reason I kind of think that they would do something like that, not so much as like hey, look at this cool new feature that we have that we never had in our systems before. Because obviously, it's straight from the Wii U. But I think that, with kind of Nintendo's goal to unify their libraries, having the ability to broadcast a second screen for certain things would make, getting some of their other legacy titles from the DS and the 3DS and the Wii U over that may not have necessarily been as easy to do. So, because you remember they did the Virtual Console for the DS stuff with the Wii U.
Yeah.
This was kind of given the ability to do something like that. And presumably they would have like a handheld mode where they could, just do it on like one screen and you kind of just turn your Switch sideways or whatever. I don't know. But that's what my thinking is. Whether or not it's a thing or not, I don't know. But it just seems kind of wild enough that Nintendo would want to try that kind of asynchronous gameplay again on a more popular system. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking if they're going to follow a similar timeline to the Switch, I feel like we'll probably know this year. I think they'll kind of do that same thing like they did last time, where they announced it kind of, the end half of the year, and kind of been like, "Hey, y'all, this is going to be coming out early next year." But what it would come with, I don't know. So
yeah, I have no idea.
Anyways, moving on. Batman's coming to the Switch.
Yep,
which is exciting.
Which is interesting because this includes Arkham Knight. Mm-hmm. And if you recall, Arkham Knight, that didn't run very well on anything, specifically on PC.
I did.
And then it was like 30 FPS already on PS4. So, kind of interesting. Wonder how that one will run on Switch.
I don't know. It's old enough now. They better make it run kind of decent. We'll see.
Arkham Knight was kind of ahead of its time. Like it was very well made, like very powerful, that sort of thing. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah.
What else we got coming out?
Gloomhaven, which apparently is a board game. Looked cool. Yeah. Yep. I'm not playing this.
Yeah, not, but it looked kind of like I don't even know, kind of like a board game, kind of D&D kind of style.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
Just Dance 24, skipped right through that one. Good day.
Yeah. I was not paying attention at all.
Silent Hope. I don't remember this game, honestly. Do you remember it?
I'm looking at it now. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, yeah, this is the one with the heroes that can't talk, and it had dungeons and monsters and
crafting and farming
and
yeah.
Didn't care.
Sure it's whatever.
I'm sure it's cute. It didn't really do anything for me. Fae Farm, skipped right the fuck over that. Did not care.
Yeah, I haven't cared about this one since it's been shown off the first time. I think it looks better each time they show more of it, but it's like whatever. Why would I want this when I could play Rune Factory?
Why not?
Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. The first one of this game was very good, although it was massively oversaturated with DLC and battle pass systems and season passes and all that good jazz. But this is a good game, so we'll see how it turns out this time, because the first one was a really good game.
Yeah. Manic Mechanics. Don't remember this game.
I don't remember this game at all. I don't remember this at all.
I might have skipped right over it. Let me see. Oh yes, I skipped right over this one.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
It looks like kind of like a weird co-op puzzle game. So
next we got Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope's DLC, which came out on the 21st, I guess.
Yeah, I think it came out maybe around the same time as the Direct. Is that when it was? Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. I still haven't gotten past the first area of the game.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, so I'm sure I'll probably play it eventually, since I've already paid for it. So, yeah. Dragon Quest Monsters.
This was the first one I remember actually seeing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, this looks fun.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting concept, because what is it? You're cursed or whatever, and then you can't fight the monsters, and then someone teaches you to like be a monster rancher, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of It's kind of got like a Pokemon vibe to it, where you like have monsters to do the combinations.
And then you breed them, and
breed them
together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So
I mean, I think it looks really good. So that one's one I'll probably check out. I mean, these Dragon Quest games are always good. So there's that.
Yeah. Up next,
Pikmin 4.
4. Yeah. I
think this looks great.
This is gonna be here. Yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks like they've added a shit ton to this game.
Yeah, 100%.
So, because now it's like, oh yeah, you can be down after dark, and I don't know, there's these creepy green ghosty Pokemons that are going on. There's evil looking Olimar that's there.
Yeah.
And there's I saw like a wild fan theory yesterday that this is kind of they're like, what if this is based off of the bad ending from Pikmin 1? And it's like, okay, that's a strange idea. But maybe I don't know if you remember the bad ending for Pikmin.
Not because I really haven't played much of Pikmin ever.
So if you do not get off the planet,
it like in passing, that sort of thing. Not like I've never gone through all of them. I've seen all of them played, and I just haven't really cared to play them myself.
Well, I have tons to talk about them today because this is what I played this week was Pikmin.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
So let's see a couple things. So Pikmin 4, yeah, they added this kind of night feature where you can go and stay. In the previous games, you had to all be done by nighttime or you got ate up by the monsters. So any Pikmin you left out alone, they're deceased. No saving them. They're gone to the wind. So you had that kind of aspect to it. This one as well, though, it also, aside from letting you kind of do like these night missions to explore, it looks like it has kind of like a leveling up, kind of like a skill tree kind of feature thing, which is new. The other games did have kind of some aspects of it, like Pikmin 2. I don't remember if 3 did 2. I can't remember. I'm going to play through 3 again before 4 comes out, is my plan. But 2 had some things where it's like if there's certain items that you get, those would trigger new features for your character. Be like, oh, you found, this punching robot. Oh, I can upgrade your punching ability so it's more powerful. Like those kind of things. So it's possible, that they're kind of basing it off that. But obviously, this looks far more in depth. It looks like they added quite a bit to it. So it'll be really interesting to see what kind of features they add to it. You can create your own character there. I never finished the thing about Olimar and maybe why it's an alternate timeline. Yeah, because so Pikmin 1, the story about it is that you crash land on this planet and your ship is broken in all these pieces and you got 30 days of life support left or you're deceased, basically. So what happens, though, is if you don't finish it in time, you go to take off, and then you crash back down on the planet, and then the Pikmin pick up your dead body and throw you into an onion, and then you get replanted and turned into a Pikmin. Not like, but you're just basically Captain Olimar without a helmet and a leaf on his head. And it's kind of strangely similar to that kind of weird-looking Captain Olimar thing in Pikmin 4. So there's just kind of that theory. And also, too, because you're searching for Captain Olimar in this game, there's just kind of that theory that, maybe this is an alternate reality, or alternate timeline, rather, where Captain Olimar didn't get off the planet, and he got converted into, like, an evil Pikmin thing, and that's what's going on.
Okay, that's neat. That's an interesting idea.
It's a really interesting theory, and it seems kind of plausible. So I'm kind of curious to see if maybe that's what happens. So, yeah, it looks really good. So kind of as part of this, they did kind of announce a bunch of different things for, this kind of Pikmin impending release. So, one, Pikmin 4 is getting a demo tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's either today or tomorrow. It's very soon. So Nintendo even sent me a reminder about it today. So I know it's coming up soon. So by the time you listen to us, it's already up. Go and play it, because I'm sure it's probably good. And we'll talk about it next week. 2, they also announced that Pikmin 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch immediately.
Okay.
So
yeah, that was literally that day.
Yep, they're like, here they are, download away. And they were $30 each or $50 if you bought them together. So they did kind of that thing there. They're based off of the Wii releases in terms of features and stuff. They do have widescreen. They're HD now. Obviously, if you've ever played Pikmin 1 and 2 before, they have really ugly ground textures. And I can tell you, there's no amount of HD magic in the world that's going to make those really ugly ground textures look any better. But the rest of the models and stuff do look pretty good. I think they did a lot of that stuff pretty nicely. I think that otherwise the game looks really good. And especially if you're playing in handheld mode, even better. It looks fantastic. So you got kind of that aspect of it. They also put in the motion controls, kind of. So they added... So if you remember, the Wii release added motion controls using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, which the Pikmin 3 also used. But for some reason, this version uses kind of a hybrid version of the motion controls, where it's not always... I think they did this because, as you know, there's not really... The Wii had that, the sensor bar to kind of center the controls. So nothing got too wildly out of area. It always kind of kept an eye on where things were. The Switch obviously does not have such a thing. So it kind of relies on wherever you're pointing it at any given time. So the way that they kind of got around it is the pointer is based on the character until you go to use it to throw or to use your whistle, at which point you have free range to move it around should you wish to use the motion controls. So it does help, it does work, it does feel better, but it's not quite the free range of controls that they gave you with, say, Pikmin 3.
Okay.
But it works nice-ish once you realize it's kind of there. Also, it kind of helped me work through some issues that I've been having with my Joy-Cons, because, and I think I talked about it before, and you probably know too, being a Switch owner, but the range for the Joy-Cons kind of sucks.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because of Bluetooth, they don't have really great range. So, and if you have some line of sight issues, you might lose connection from time to time. So I was getting frustrated with it, and then I don't know what it was. I went on to Google again. This is not the first time I've done this, but I did it again anyways, just to see if anything's changed. And I was like, looking at like third-party Joy-Cons to see if, maybe there's any better ones. From what it sounds like, there's not. All the Joy-Cons kind of have different issues if you're looking for different things. And you kind of run to which features are most important to you kind of debate, which is annoying. I don't love that it's like that. I feel like, you hope that third-party controllers would at least have most of the features. But it's kind of like, what would you prefer? Wireless, gyro, or, like whatever else they have in there. There's nothing that has all of them. So I was like, okay, well, as I kept searching, though, I found out that apparently the launch model Joy-Cons, which I have, had some antenna placement issues. So I was like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I need another pair of Joy-Cons anyways, because these ones are both launch day ones. I'm getting a little bit of drift, and I'm getting that kind of weird thing where one of them has some sort of button issues, which obviously wouldn't be covered by repair anyways. So I was like, well, let me just get a new pair. So I got a set of orange and purple ones, which was nice. I had gray ones before, so color it up. A couple things that I realized. Yes, these are better than reception-wise than my other ones. I'm not having the issues that I had before. Nice. I do still have some line of sight issues, but I can comfortably play it on my couch and sit however I want without having it have an issue. The only time I had an issue was when I tried to deliberately play with it behind my back to see if it still worked. That caused an issue. But anyway, I sat, with my feet or whatever, even in positions that were kind of like pseudo blocking, like line of sight, didn't have an issue anymore. So that was nice. That was fixed. Also kind of cool, which I did not know. Do you have any colored Joy-Cons?
I don't. I guess I have the red and blue ones, but those just don't work anymore. There's so much Joy-Con drift in them. There's no point even trying to use them.
You might already know this. I did not. But apparently when you snap in the different colored Joy-Cons, it snaps in that color.
Yes, it does.
I did not know that.
Not only that, but it actually, if you're playing like Pokemon, the colored Joy-Cons that you have attached to your Switch is what shows up in your Switch on Pokemon.
No.
Yes, it does.
That's wild. Did not know that. That's cool. Yeah. I'm like in love with the colored Joy-Cons now. I'm like, why didn't I fucking buy colored Joy-Cons before?
So I have 2 white ones now because my brother, he broke my Joy-Cons when I let him borrow them because I wasn't using my Switch for the longest time. So then once he got a Switch, the OLED one, I was like, I'm taking your fucking Joy-Cons. So I did. So those are the only working Joy-Cons I have right now, and those even show up on Pokemon when I play it.
That's wild. Yeah. So yeah, I love the new colored Joy-Cons. I might end up getting another colored set eventually. Not right now. But...
The red and the blue one look really nice.
Yeah,
they're like my favorite, but like mine's broken. So.
Well, I had those. I don't remember what they look like now. They just announced those new colors. I think it's this one. Let me see. Hold on a second. Oh no, they had the blue and the yellow as well with the. They're kind of like the Splatoon colors. I would probably describe it as. But they just had, those kind of pastel Joy-Cons. Yeah, which are kind of like purple and green and kind of more like, I don't know, these are Easter colors is kind of what I think of, and maybe more like a salmon and a yellow. But they look kind of nice. I don't know. I'm kind of all into all these different colors now. So stay tuned. I'll probably end up getting more at some point.
Oh god, you're gonna like collect the most expensive Joy-Cons?
No, I'm not going that wild. But I don't know. It's just
honestly, one of the most expensive Joy-Cons I actually super want. Because they're really pretty. Let me see if I can find a picture of them for you. They're from the Disney Tsum Tsum Switch, which is very expensive. I have to find what it is though. Disney Joy.
There's that purple and
the purple and the like pink one with the like the dots and how the home button is Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah, that is kind of cool.
They're awesome. They are so awesome. The one pair of them is $130.
Yeah, no, thank you. You get the Switch too, for $524. Yay!
Super expensive.
Yeah. No, thank you.
But they look so nice. Good though. They're nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, but no, definitely not anything, wild with that. But I might just get some more colors just to kind of replace the
like Splatoon green ones look really good. The green and pink look.
Oh, that really reminds me. I was going to ask you about. I know you sent it to me before, and I don't remember where it was, and I didn't want to go looking through everything. Where is that place to get the repair tools for the console stuff? Like
so
the tool sets, like the screwdrivers and everything.
Yeah. So I got them off of Amazon. But because I found out on a YouTube video what I should be looking for, and I paid like $20 for like a whole kit. But I believe iFixit probably has it.
iFixit is where you sent me.
Yeah, iFixit probably is what you're looking for.
I typed in iFixit and iFixit toolkit came right up.
Yeah, if you type in Switch when it says Explore the World of Repair, it will tell you exactly what you need. Here it is: Nintendo Joy-Con / Switch Lite joystick repair, $20. It comes with all the stuff you need, including a new joystick.
Oh, fancy. Yeah, I was thinking about I was like, well, maybe I should get one of those toolkits and just replace the joysticks in my 2 Joy-Cons that I have, the old ones, and it would fix the drift. And whenever I go back, and I could fix that issue with the. Because the problem is, it's weird. Both of my right Joy-Cons.
So for $20, you get all the tool bits that you need and a new Joy-Con stick. You can pick from black and white right now, but they used to have blue and red as well.
Oh,
so
fancy.
They also have a tutorial video on how to replace them and how to take them apart. It's very nice.
Very nice.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's $20 per Joy-Con, but $20.
Yeah, but I mean, the tools would be the big thing that I would need.
Yeah,
and then I would probably just order another set of those Joy-Cons that are the ones that don't have the wear down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but isn't that what they're selling here with the new Joy-Con joystick? They have it here in the $20 repair kit. It comes with the new joystick. Here, I'll link you. In general.
Okay.
So it comes with a brand new joystick. But then you have to pay $14.99 for another one after that if you want to.
No, I've seen that, but are these the ones that don't drift though?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I was thinking about getting a set of the Joy-Con sticks that don't drift.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
No, let me show you. Yeah, I think it's these ones. I'd have to double check for sure, but
okay,
I'll show you.
Okay.
Because they don't use that kind of like that physical thing to have the wear down.
Oh, okay. Well, shall we continue with this direct?
Yeah, we got distracted. Yay, Joy-Cons. Yeah, but anyways, so and one other thing, because I was talking about Pikmin 1 and 2. So I've been playing them. I think they play great. I really enjoy them. I also was going to say, too, just kind of add on to Pikmin 2, just kind of, I think this needs to be said, kind of based on things we talked about in the past about how, a lot of times, the second game in a series just immensely builds upon the first one. And that game is Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 is phenomenal. I think that it takes the concept of Pikmin 1 and builds on it in so many ways.
See, maybe that's my problem, because, I played Pikmin 1.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, whatever. So maybe...
Pikmin 2 is incredible. I think I would consider this a masterpiece game.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. All right.
Yeah, and there's lots of reasons for it. Well, you do still have kind of like the day-to-day time limit on, things that you're doing,
Okay.
But you don't have like the first game had that kind of 30-day time limit to get all the parts of your ship or you're dead. This one gives you as many days as you want to get everything done. So your only time limit is, during the course of the day, from sunrise to sunset. Otherwise, your Pikmin get eaten. So they have all that kind of stuff. They added, in this game, you're collecting treasures, which one thing that they did switch in this game. So when Pikmin 2 came out, a lot of the treasures were like licensed properties. They had Duracell batteries and they had like Coca-Cola products and things like that. In this game, they made them generic. They're with this re-release, they replaced them with generic things. They still look really good. Like they did a great job of, artifying them up to kind of be reminiscent of products that could actually be real.
Okay.
But they are not as, authentic as they were before. They do a good job. Humor's spot on. You have a robot in this game. Like your ship will talk to you and kind of analyze things you bring back to it. It is kind of like really funny stuff. But one other thing too that I think kind of gets underappreciated in this game. So you have these kind of like dungeon-ish areas in the game where like you go down and there'll be like, a bunch of different floors. You got to get items in there. There's kind of a set number of bosses, but they're randomly generated. So you could go down there and they're different every single time that you go down. I had even instances where I would like, just to kind of demonstrate how different it is, I would go down there, get kind of slaughtered by an enemy that I wasn't paying attention to, or maybe like a bomb would drop down from the ceiling. I'm like, oops, lost all my Pikmin. And then I would just kind of, reset the game and hop back in. And when you jump back into the floor you left off on, it's completely different. Not exactly the same floor that you left on. Everything's rearranged. Kind of similar obstacles and enemies, but you don't know the layout. You don't know where things are going to come from. You don't know. You're like, oh, I know that this there's probably going to be a bomb dropping down from the ceiling, but I don't know where it's going to be, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing when it's going to do it. So it makes things really interesting. Like, as much as I played this game, I really don't know what to expect. So, Pikmin 2, masterpiece. Absolute, like, classic game. It builds on the first game in so many ways. Recommend it, 100%. So
nice. I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now we move on. Metal Gear Solid Collection.
Yes, and I actually have something else to say about this.
Yeah.
Because you saw during the Sony thing, which, God, I would love to talk about the Sony thing, but that's its own can of worms. We're going to wait until more stuff has come out before we go into that, because holy shit, there's so much to go over for the Sony court case stuff. There's so much stuff going on there. Yeah. It's crazy. Essentially, one of the things that's specific to this that we'll talk about is there was a leak that the second Metal Gear Solid collection does actually have Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, 4
so the second collection. Yep. So that collection will actually have all the really good games, including one that has not been removed from the PlayStation 3 since its release. So that is incredible. That is awesome. I will give you a little heads up on some other stuff that happened. Apparently, did you follow any of the court case stuff? Because it's fucking hilarious.
I've seen some bits and pieces of it.
All right, so a few of my favorite parts was that Microsoft essentially found out that Sony was going to make several Bethesda games, including the next Elder Scrolls, as well as they were making a play to make the next Elder Scrolls as well as the Starfield exclusive in some way to PS5 or whatever the current Sony console would have been at that time when those games released. So Microsoft decided just to buy Bethesda so they couldn't. And that was like, wow, dude. It's like Microsoft just fucking flopped their cock on the table and just like, nah, this is ours now.
And I do remember like that we all thought that Starfield was going to be exclusive.
Yeah,
like that was definitely talked about.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So, yeah. There was some other good bits as well, where like the essentially a redacted email that shouldn't have been brought up was stated essentially that Microsoft is like, yeah, we're making a play for Activision because we know that Sony wants to make a play for more exclusives, so we want to just buy out the biggest one that we can and essentially ruin Sony before they can ruin us. That's what it was. We want, our goal is to get rid of Sony, like remove them from existence.
Yeah.
And that was like in an email, like a private email between like people and everything.
I think they were like, "Oh, we were just joking."
and then there was a few other things that really had me laughing. The complete stupidity of the FTC, such as their example of what could happen if Microsoft bought Activision, where their example started with, imagine if you would, that there is a really cool skin that you want, but it's exclusive to Xbox. And I mentioned this to you, but you don't play live service games at all.
No. Mm-hmm.
Every 3 months there is a skin exclusive to PlayStation Plus for both Call of Duty and for Fortnite. You can only get it on PlayStation Plus. That skin does not go anywhere else. And there's also a skin that whenever you bought the new Call of Duty, that skin is only playable on PlayStation. As in, if you play with someone that's on PC, they'll just see your skin as a default skin. They won't even know that you are the skin that you are using, because they aren't even allowed to see it unless they're playing on PlayStation.
Wow.
And that kind of threw the whole FTC's thing about the exclusive skins out the window. It was so funny. And then there was another one recently that was so funny, where they brought up like exclusives and everything, and like essentially Microsoft was having the conversation of, why is it okay for Sony to have some of the biggest exclusives, but we're like not allowed to, essentially. And the judge and the FTC was like, well, essentially, what are you talking about? And they were like, well, Final Fantasy XVI released today. And they were like, is that a big franchise? And that was a question that was asked. Is Final Fantasy a big franchise? Is that an important and big franchise?
No, not at all.
No, absolutely not. Never.
There was also, I think this just came out today, maybe too. I feel like at least I just read it, but just kind of that whole kerfluffle about the details that Microsoft had to go through with just getting Activision on board with Xbox as a platform for Call of Duty, and all the hoops that Activision made them jump through just to do it. Like, they weren't allowed to announce it in certain places because of all the deals they had with Sony. And it had to be done in a very certain and specific way, and it had to be done on certain specific channels, and there was a whole bunch of stuff they could not say. And then obviously, Activision was bargaining for, a higher share.
No, they were given a higher share. And they have to do the higher share with Activision. Like that was a thing that they actually made go through.
Yeah.
So Activision gets a higher share than anyone else on the system because that was the only way they would let them actually have Call of Duty on Xbox to begin with. Yeah. It's fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm. So.
All right, back to the Nintendo Direct. Sorry, I just wanted to have that little detour for a second because that shit was crazy.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. So, yeah, we're getting Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1's coming to the Switch. It'll be interesting to see if the second one ends up coming
also comes to Switch? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hope it does.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope that Twin Snakes comes out eventually in some way, shape, or form, but it seems like it's getting less and less likely.
Yeah. And you get to play my Game of the Year pick from last year on August 17th. Please do. The second you can play Vampire Survivors on Switch, you should play Vampire Survivors on Switch.
I will consider it.
Vampire Survivors is releasing on August 17th on the Nintendo Switch, which is awesome because this game is incredible.
I know. He talked a lot about it. One of the guys I work with, he wasn't playing Vampire Survivors, but we were talking about it because he was playing a similar game on his phone. And I was like, I'm like, are you playing Vampire Survivors? He's like, oh no, it's a game just like, he's like, I was playing Vampire Survivors. And I was like, oh. And I asked him about the DLC, and he's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, okay. Good day, sir. But it looks a lot of fun. I liked it the day that I saw you play it, so maybe I'll probably pick it up eventually. I know it's not terribly expensive, so
$5.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Next one. So when I just scrolled down to this image, I swear to God, I thought there was a cock inside the letter D.
Wait, what? Hold up. I have to read it. Wait, hold on. All right, let's see what this looks like. I'm waiting for all the videos to load up. Okay, yeah, all right, I get it. Yeah, it looks like one.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's Headbangers Rhythm Royale. It's like a pigeon-based rhythm game. As much as I love rhythm games, this movie did nothing for me, and I don't want it. So
it doesn't look good.
No, it did.
Which is weird because it is 100% trying to emulate one of your favorite rhythm games.
Mm-hmm. But it is not. I don't know what it is. I kind of want to like the art style for it, and there's other things
the art style is garbage. I don't like it at all.
I said I kind of want to like it. I don't like it. I just kind of want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's.
I'll be keeping an eye on it because it's a rhythm game, but it's like I don't know. It's really this is like one of the worst parts of the Direct, I think.
And now that I'm looking through, all the pigeons look like cocks.
One of them even has a costume that's an eggplant. This has to be done on purpose.
Yeah, maybe that's the bangers part of it. The head bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, moving on. Penny's Big Breakaway.
Yes.
From the Sonic Mania team. And actually, yeah, I agree. I was actually really impressed by this game. I thought it looked a lot of fun. It looked like it was a pretty original looking game. It's got penguins in it, which you know I love. So that's always good. And I thought it just had a good art style. It looked like it was just, kind of a fun piece. So
I'm excited for this one. This one looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of nice variety and like 3D platformer kind of thing. So we will find out.
And the Sonic Mania team understood modern Sonic, so maybe they also understand, I mean, not modern, but classic Sonic, so maybe they also understand, old school platformers. It seems kind of like it from what we've seen so far, and I hope that is the case.
What's that game? Remember Ukulele? That's what everyone thought with that game.
Yeah.
And that did not happen.
But Hat in Time was really good, and that was another one that was alongside Ukulele being made. Hat in Time is an excellent, excellent platformer.
Hopefully. We'll see. It looks good, though, at least trailer-wise. I'm impressed with it. Definitely, and honestly, even more impressed than I was, with the announcement of, say, Ukulele or whatever. So,
yeah.
Moving on, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Wave 5. They showed off one stage, which is the bathroom, and it looks boring. They also announced 3 new characters, Petey Piranha, Kamek, and Wiggler. And Wiggler can ride on the Wiggler cart. I don't know why they decided to confirm that, so you can have, a Wiggler kind of deal going on. So, But I'm excited for the new content, whatever it may be. I already forgot it was leaked probably so long ago that. But yeah, looks good. I've enjoyed most of these course passes. So.
Yep.
What else? Star Ocean, Second
This
Story
looks
R.
awesome. This looks really good. It looks like another game using the Octopath Traveler engine, and it looks awesome.
I agree.
I do think every game that is in this sort of engine and art style looks really good. Yeah. I'm very excited to see this one.
Yep.
So
same. I think it looks fantastic. I never played any of the Star Ocean games.
So these, I believe this one is on PS2, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been PlayStation 1.
It says PlayStation 1 underneath.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I think I only played the PS2 ones. So, yeah, that would be a first for me as well.
All right. Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. I would definitely try it.
Agreed.
Up next, WarioWare Move It.
Yes, we did get WarioWare.
Yeah.
Here's another rhythm game, shall we?
Well, not all rhythm game, at least, but definitely it has some moments. So it looks like, and I don't know if you kind of feel this way. I kind of wondered about it when we were talking about it when the direct came out, and watching the video kind of made me think of it more. This game definitely looks like some sort of hybrid from the Wii WarioWare.
Yeah.
Some of the mini games in there look like they're straight out of the Wii version. Like those people in kind of the spandex dance looking things.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is kind of like a pseudo upgrade to that. Don't know. Obviously, we know very little about this game except it uses the motion controls. But if it's anything like the Wii one, it will be a lot of fun. I loved the Wii.
I just like WarioWare. I didn't actually get to play the Wii one. I'll have to at some point, I guess. But WarioWare is a great series in general.
I didn't like the last one on the Switch. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love the last one on the Switch.
I didn't play the one on the Switch, so yeah, I need to play it.
It was weird. Because that one had you play
as the two-player one?
You had two different characters to play as. You didn't necessarily need to play as both of them at the same time, but each character had its own ability, and depending on which stage the character got in, you might get kind of screwed over because, certain characters have certain abilities and they're not great in certain stages. So, yeah, it's interesting. It had too much randomness in it to kind of really make it exciting.
I see.
Next bit, they just talked more about Nintendo Live. I skipped right over that section. I didn't care. And then big news: new amiibos are coming.
Yep.
Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo, which we talked. They were rumored based on a data mine a couple weeks ago because there were some paragliders that were assigned to them in the game that were otherwise unobtainable, and apparently there are amiibos coming for them, and they look fantastic.
They do.
You got Zelda with a broken Master Sword, and you got Ganondorf being a hot daddy.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah, people are very thirsty for Ganondorf.
They are. It is kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. And then you wonder why he's able to do all this stuff. It's because people are thirsty for the Ganondorf.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then we got the last game of the Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Which was rumored and was real. Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yes.
So, lots of neat things about this.
Yeah, definitely.
So, the kind of first takeaway, 2D Mario. They dropped the new moniker. And this is a refresh of basically the 2D Mario games. Some things that I think are kind of cool here. The animation style's fantastic.
Yes, the art style in general is also fantastic. Like, I like all the colors and how much it pops in the stages and everything, especially during the Wonder segments, hence the title's name.
Yeah.
There's some weird shit here going on. I don't really know what's going on from the trailer. We got some, Sonic fucking sliding on rails shit going on in some elements of it. We got this Wonder Ball, essentially. Oh, I wonder who I do I ooh. What's in a Wonder Ball? Where they turn into things like elephants and grow gigantic, and the world around them changes. There's a stampede where the actual flagpole gets destroyed and the stage continues past the flagpole because of it. There's some really interesting ideas here that I have no idea what they are exactly.
Yeah, it's very trippy. It's almost like Mario Bros. Acid Trip.
Honestly, yes, 100%. Especially since in the trailer, at one point, they like finish and they like get to the end and they hop on the flagpole and they go down it, and then like the Toad house that's in front of them like glitches out and then comes back.
Yeah,
like
something completely different.
Yeah.
It's like some weird like plant kind of thing. So you got all that kind of stuff going on. Well, in one of those Wonder segments, I think one of the kind of weirdest things is like the pipes all come to life and start like moving.
Yeah,
like,
and Mario like stretches up and down like a fucking giraffe.
Yeah, yeah.
And the enemies will like push the pipes while you're trying to jump on them. There's some weird shit here.
And
I like the like new ideas they're trying. I like that's a good way to shake up 2D Mario, because 2D Mario has been stale, I think, since Super Mario, New Super Mario Brothers 2. I think 2D Mario has been like long due for like a makeover of some type. I really hope that's what this is.
Yeah, and that seems like what it is. It seems like they've added quite a bit here. You know, obviously, you know, we have a bunch of the different things there. It looks like they also added, you know, some. It's hard to tell for sure whether or not the characters have like the, you know, different abilities in between them. They have not seen enough in the video to kind of decide or not. However, it looks like a player can play as Yoshi. So
yeah, it does.
Like it looks like at one point there's two players playing. One is Yoshi, one is Mario. Mario jumps on Yoshi, and then, you know, Yoshi's still kind of controlling everything with his flutter kicks and everything. So definitely a possibility that's kind of going on there. So I don't know. It's really interesting. There's lots of things that we don't know. So we will find out more as time goes on, I guess. I do like everything that we saw here, though. There's just a ton of variety in everything. So, and like I said, I think the thing that gets me the most is I just love how expressive it is. Like, you know, Mario jumps into like a pipe and his like hat flies out, and then he kind of like reaches back to grab it and gets back to the other side, and then there's like those little plants that are like talking to you, like run, 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 roll, 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 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on that.
Yeah, don't know, no clue. I'm all aboard this wild ride though. So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of stuff, and also too. So interesting thing from the box art, and I don't know if you could see it in this picture. No, you can't really see it. So you might need to look at another version of it because you can only see the corner of it. So are you looking at? Do you see like the title screen of that video?
I could see it.
So if you look in the top right, there's that Goomba up there, right?
Yeah.
So you can't see it because of the way this bar is here, but that Goomba
has a Toad hat on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No fucking clue what that means. Do you turn into toads? Is that kind of one of those weird magic spells from that weird?
Bro, there's a magical fucking caterpillar on Luigi's back.
Yep, and he appears in the video elsewhere. Like he kind of, I think he's the thing that hops out from the house. Maybe, I don't remember. There's something you see him in the video. Don't know what that's about, but he's
something's going on with Daisy at her foot, but I can't tell what it is.
She's probably just like, "Hi, I'm Daisy." Yeah. No clue, but also kind of surprising that they brought her back because, you know, we don't get a ton of games with Daisy in them. So that one's kind of unusual for, you know, the kind of more classic Mario games. So they've been much more apt to put Rosalina in games. We really have not seen Daisy, but it's nice that they kind of have more stuff there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it looks like in one of the videos too, one part of the video, it looks like there's a section where there's, you know, 4 people playing as Yoshi in all different colors.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, very weird. So, be really interested to see what's going on with this. Obviously, I don't know. I kind of mentioned it, you know, at the beginning of this, you know, segment, but, you know, Nintendo usually does another Direct in September to kind of shore up, you know, some more of the stuff they want to talk about for the fall, and then, you know, kind of, you know, prep things up for the beginning of the year. So I feel like this is probably something we'll see back then. It's also, you know, I think we'll probably touch back on a couple of the bigger things, you know, for the end of the year that, you know, they want to go back through. This Super Mario RPG, I think we'll see a little bit more of them. So, kind of, those things there. So, one interesting thing that I noted here after this was done, and I don't know if you did or not too, September's surprisingly devoid of game releases. So, which I thought was weird. At least, I guess maybe first-party game releases. But it's an odd month for Nintendo to forgo, which kind of makes me think that they're probably planning on doing A, another Direct that month, and B, planning on filling it with another Shadow drop. They're like, hey, by the way, here's something relevant to something coming up in the near future.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
My thinking is it's either going to be, I think it's going to be those other GameCube ports that we kind of figure exist. Okay. Either, maybe Wind Waker or Twilight Princess seems like a pretty good thing. Maybe they announce the Tears of the Kingdom DLC or whatever, and they're like, hey, play this, whatever, while you're waiting for the DLC to come out next year. Or they also could do a Metroid Prime 2. I feel like that would be a good place to drop that as well, assuming that's ready. So, because I feel like their plan is to trickle them out between now and Metroid Prime 4. So, I kind of think that would be a good place to stick it. But that's it. That's all I got Nintendo Direct-wise. I don't know if you had any other thoughts.
I just did, because it actually just appeared. It seems the ESRB did a little fucky-wucky by mistake. And ahead of time, Quake 2 Remaster has showed up as a thing.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. So, a game ratings committee has classified Quake 2 Remastered. No platforms or release dates have been confirmed yet, but QuakeCon happens in a month. So it's entirely possible that's when we'll get the announcement.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It seems like a normal place for them to kind of drop those things. I don't know if there's any other random...
No, I don't think so. I think we got everything there. I think we're good.
Yeah. You ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check us out on game-crunch.com. All our new episodes are there, as well as all the old ones. And if you want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com, or we're on Facebook or Twitter. Brandon.
Hello.
Any final thoughts?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. That's it. My name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash of Penguin. There or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That entire Direct was so good.
Yeah, I was really happy with it. I said, and it's interesting too, because they really didn't go too wild in some ways, but it was kind of a nice, concise Direct with lots of kind of enough hype stuff to kind of get you excited for the rest of the year. I think it was kind of just a nice, compact thing. I kind of, just thinking about it, I'm just kind of like, what are they going to talk about in September?
Yeah,
because it'd just be kind of like, yeah, here's more on Mario Wonder, here's more on Mario RPG, and here's that Princess Peach game.
Don't both of those release before then?
Wonder's October, and then Mario RPG's in like their kind of weekend before Thanksgiving slot.
November. Game. Okay.
And then also, but the weird thing is, WarioWare's also an October game, and Detective Pikachu's also a November game.
Yeah.
So, that's why I was kind of like, it's really weird that they doubled all those games up and then left September completely empty for first-party releases. So I'm kind of like, I feel like they're planning on shadow dropping something there, because that's kind of a strange place to leave open. I mean, the physical release of Pikmin 1 and 2 is that month, but that doesn't seem like enough to...
No, definitely not.
So I'm thinking they'll probably just be like, oh, let's just drop this here. Let's see. Also, August is open too. But my thinking is that's probably when they will do the Wave 5 for Mario Kart, because they said summer, and that just kind of seems like, I think that's when they did it last year. They did one of the waves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I feel like it came out while I was vacation for my birthday. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of seemed like, when they would drop it. So, yeah. Otherwise, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm done.